All right, thanks for tuning in for this week's development stream. I'm going to be working on Retrofit and the next milestone that I work on, which is Drupal 7 themes. Should load this up, but I posted a blog post this week announcing that the next thing I want to work with Retrofit on is for Drupal 7 themes. I was kind of bouncing between Entity API support or even Chaos Tools API, but after talking to a few folks, it seems like getting theme support would be a really big benefit and unblock a lot of the ways forward, because people have a lot of logic in their themes. And I always thought of it as whenever somebody did a major version upgrade, usually they touched the redesign, but that's kind of the antithesis of retrofit. Retrofit for Drupal is supposed to make the next upgrade be as seamless as the current 8, 9, 10 upgrades. So themes should be supported as well. So I created myself a little milestone inside GitHub, labeled themes, where I'm starting to issues as I come across them. One was opened a while ago about how to securely run Drupal 7 themes. And this raises a few good points, or great points. One of the biggest issues with Drupal 7 was the fact that we use PHP template, and it was up to developers to escape content before rendering in the templates. With Drupal 8, one reason Twig was adopted is it auto escapes content. So there are a few places that Retrofit will need to provide helpers to make sure that output rendered in templates are escaped automatically, such as like labels and fields. But that will be kind of like a tail end of it, because there's plenty more that needs to be fixed, such as in Drupal 7, like you arbitrarily would add CSS and JavaScript to the page and style sheets in the info file. With Drupal 8, we have asset libraries. Templates are maybe in the root directory, where most things are expected in /templates subdirectory now. And also, how are we going to detect template overrides if they're .tpl.php files? Will it even work? I don't know. So this stream is going to be a kind of exploratory. So I created a new branch called theme support, and then in my data sources, I actually added Bartik theme. So just like the others, where we have to copy the info file and make an info.yaml, I'm going to start there. So I'm just going to turn this into a .yaml file and convert it from being this INI format to a YAML compatible format, and just see if we can get the theme discoverable and processed. And I think one of the first parts would be dynamically converting these style sheets into an asset library that's automatically registered. I think that's a good first step. So I don't have a real clear goal. It's just kind of doing a lot of exploration at this point. And copy paste these two. This type and core version requirements. Let's say theme. And it would be great too to somehow, I did open an issue for discovering.info files, but there is so much in Drupal that's hard coded to discovery that I don't think it would be possible. So in this, we're going to have to rewrite this, and I wish we didn't have to. So that's another thing that I would like to figure out, is if we could parse this info file. I think it'd be too hard, but asking developers to just rearrange this shouldn't be too evil. I would hope not. Actually, the print, so that's there. Now we would say print. So that is equivalent. Then regions. I actually want to look at how regions are defined. I think it's the same way. So let's go into Drupal core themes. Let's just look at Olivero, and you go to its info YAML. So yeah, that's basically the same, just any YAML format than this INI format or whatever it's called. So you can see here, this library is global styling that goes to a library that defines the CSS and JavaScript, where before it was defined as style sheets. And same with JavaScript, I think was defined the same way. So we're going to go ahead and copy this over. I think some of it, at least copy paste from over here. Maybe not. So I'll just go ahead and help. see, hold on. There's got to be a faster way to do this. Let me use the multi-cursor. Which actually, one second. Let me get my presentation plugin back on. Presentation assistant. All right. So I'm doing option click right now since it's not showing it. Do the multi-cursor. My thought is that I can speed this up by bulk editing with the cursor. There we go. That worked out great. Settings, that's new, I think. I don't think you still define that here. You don't, because now themes have configuration schema. So that would have to be translated. So let's go ahead. To do convert to schema. And then, let's see, to do convert to library. Regions are fine. This is all added. We can delete that. All right, so now we've got our base, and I can start working on tests. Again, the main part is I just want to make sure it's discoverable, which I already have inside my testing. I have utility for test module handler, and this allows me to outside of the normal discoverable place, or locations rather. So I'm gonna have to do the same for themes, I believe. So this, I'm gonna do a refresher for myself. So I'm pretty sure it's inside my test case. Yeah, so inside the test case, it decorates the module handler with this one, and that's to set the container modules location. And there's something, this get name was throwing an exception. So it's just a workaround for that. So let's go ahead and see what's going to be needed to do the same for themes. So I'm going to go to vendor, Drupal. Themes and modules are both extensions, but a lot of that was normalized throughout Drupal 8 and some of 9, but they're not treated the exact same. So we have to go to core, and I believe there's the theme namespace. We have the theme manager. Let's go to, let's look at extension. Okay, theme handler. Okay, we do have theme handler and theme installer. This is what we're going to have to decorate. So let's go ahead and do so. I'm assuming we'll have to do some, we'll have to get through in here. So get default from the site config factory. Workstation theme and the theme. It auto loads it. Theme get name. Maybe we'll be okay. This list info. This list, theme list, get list. So we might have to decorate the get list. This do list, extension scan. Okay, so this works a bit differently. So I believe I got by because everything else was using namespaces, and I could auto load a lot of stuff that way. But with the theme handler, it's actually going to do an extension listing, which will break because inside this do list, do scan extensions. Let's get to the actual method. It hard codes where it does searches. So it seems like we need to decorate theme list get list to make our tests work. Let's see. All right. Let's just start getting a test. So I'm going to create an integration and make a new namespace just called theme. And if I would theme. Let's call it. Let's do new file, theme integration test. Because that's all I'm testing right now is the fact that the theme can be found. I don't know exactly what I'm testing, and I can rename it later. Namespace. What did I do? Retrofit. Retrofit test integration theme. Final class theme integration extends integration. This case. So if we look at this integration test case, this is what I had open earlier that that registers the available modules. Fake their discovery here. So we'll have to do is get the list of currently installed themes. Installed themes. If not empty. This adds the theme. Yeah, this should be interesting. I guess we will prove that list info shows it. The problem is this isn't even testing this isn't even testing retrofit yet. This is just proving that I can test my features. So gotta get the infrastructure ready before we can actually start building. So let's get the theme handler. Container get handler. And it's not showing the method. Equals assert the theme handler is an instance of theme handler interface. Just gonna run this. It's not gonna equal an empty array. It's gonna equal. It did empty. Oh, okay. Oh, because there's no configured extensions. So let's go ahead, or themes. So it didn't actually list them. Wish themes were handled more like modules. I want to go look at the theme listing page that the system module provides. System routing, appearance, install. No, here we go. Themes page. So the idea is that themes page, theme handler, rebuild theme data. All right, well, what does rebuild theme data do? This is what's, I just want to see business themes. It sorts them, then for each it shows their data. So I want to figure out how Drupal is normally doing this. So rebuild theme data, this theme list, reset get list. All right, so this is what I need to be based off of. Is this theme list, which is extension list theme. So let's make sure. I need to test this just like Drupal core would be loading things. Let's change this to extension list theme, which theme handler is over here, extension list, theme extension list. Be then list. Well, everything. These are all the test lists. So let's go ahead, and that's exactly what we want. Say assert array has key Bartik. This Bartik was removed with Drupal 10, and we're gonna add support for the Drupal 7 version of it. This test. All right, so if we look at git list, this is gonna do listing, which scans the extension. And this is one part of Drupal that I've never been able to really figure out, is how to arbitrarily add extensions that aren't in normal directories. So I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to test a lot of these themes if they're not in the normal spot, unless I move them in. I'd have to move them inside this core directory, and I really don't want to, because I'd like to have all my test data here. So unfortunately, I think I gotta do a lot of thinking on how to make this discoverable, because it cannot be as easily faked, it seems. So do scan extensions, the scan. So what we call git list, set extensions. What I could do is create a test declaration of this that always returns the Bartik information. So I think I'll do that. Let's go. Let's create utils test. What's this? Theme extension list. File test theme extension list.php. Namespace. And then hopefully this do list, do scan extensions, get scan directory, extension discovery. My only concern is if extending it, something's going to complain because it would be typed to it specifically. Let's do list. Let's do scan extensions. So let's have extend. We'll just have it extend theme extension list. And we'll extend do scan extensions. Array. Equal. Return. Extension. And I'm going to put a breakpoint here and say to do register Bartik test data. And in our test case, I don't want to always register it, so I'm going to just extend it in this theme integration test. I'm going to call register the container builder and say container register. Oh no, it's be a child definition. I need to look at where I've done that in Retrofit before. A little bit bigger. All right. So inside provider, I've done this where it's a child definition. Here we go. I did it with menu link. So let's go ahead and do so here. So the ID is the test theme list. import the test definition, which is, or the child definition. So it's going to be a parent of and that class. I have my breakpoint set. Let's go ahead and debug the test. My breakpoint should hit, and then I can do something similar to this definition here to scaffold in that extension. So that way Drupal thinks that there is the theme. So let's do extensions, Bartik equals. What is this logic in here? Work, scan the directory, yep. Recursive iterators, base name, extension arguments. There we go. So let's break this down. So extension equals this root type, extension arguments. Where does this come from? It's file cache. If empty, it gets the type from within. We know it's a theme. How does it get the path name? File info, because it reads the file with the directory prefix. What is the directory prefix? Oh. Okay, so let's look at test module handler, since that's, I've already had to figure out this before. It's in the test case. So let's scoot that over. It's extension list. So we pass the root, the type, the path name, which will be is relative to its location. So data, we know it's Bartik. That's interesting. The path name is the dot module. Oh, I guess maybe I probably have it wrong here. This probably should be dot module. Let's look at olive arrow, since that's a full. Okay, so this will be Bartik fo.yaml. The file name will be Bartik dot, or just is template.php. Oh, that's right. That's something that changed. Is it went from being template.php to theme.info. Map template.php to theme.theme extension file. So since that doesn't actually exist, I'm going to change this to be null and link to this issue to do map template.php to file name to extension name. So subpath themes Olivero, which extension argument subpath. How does it come up with that? Subpath file info get subpath. what is the subpath even used for? For sorting purposes? All right. Well, I don't think we'll actually need that or the origin. So let's delete that and merge this into here. And hit stop. And I'm just going to hit play instead of debugging just to get faster feedback. Missing required key base theme in Bartik info.yaml. So what does vero.info.yaml base theme is false? So we need to do add this automatically. So extension list 269. Info, create extension info parser, extension path name, this defaults. So we will need to help decorate the info parser. But the thing is, the info parser doesn't know anything about the theme. So these will be nice to have later on to improve the developer experience when using Retrofit. All right, so we got it where what I have now is I can actually start testing the theme integration test because I can find the Drupal 7 Bartik theme available. So what we'll have to do is all right, let's say Drupal template.php. When did this get removed? Drupal theme folder structure. Let's see if this has a link to the change record. Does not. In the docs, let's see if that docs has a link. Does not. Oh, hey, Ko-Fi stream bot. All right, so step one is this is at least working. I guess let's test visiting the page and seeing if anything renders. Or if, yeah, I don't even know where the first step to go is. Getting CSS on the page. Let's just start there. So if we do hook theme test, we got here, we've got the request trait. Register. So do the request trait. Do the test HTTP kernel so that way if anything crashes the request, it runs. Let's register the test kernel and turn on twig debugging as well. I don't need any test modules that I can think of. So let's go ahead and test with Bartik. Test with Bartik. this install. Right. What default modules do I have installed? None. So let's turn on the just equals. We need the system module at least to get better page renders. I'm honestly surprised that's not installed here. Oh, it is. System and user. Okay. All right. So let's test like Bartik. Let's just do. Just go visit the home page. Var export response. Let's just do this, get raw content. And it's probably not going to be for any theme. I need to set the default theme, not found extension. There's no front. System.routing. What's the generic route that the routing that the system module provides? Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. I need to install a test module to give me a route. So test modules. There should be like a page test. Well, at least I thought there was a basic page test module. What does theme test do? No. Page. No. Test page test. This looks. There we go. All right. So let's turn on. Let's enable this test page test. And we'll visit the page. Sure. Cache. We'll test this page. So if we run it, we've got our page loaded. And there's no theme that was used as far as I can tell. This page test. So if we were to go into the Drupal core render and go into the renderer, you can see that we have theme functions and theme wrappers. Do this theme render. Context bubble. Update render cache. Sets the render cache here. Updates the context. Element children. Post render. Let's put a breakpoint at this theme render part. Elements markup. Markup create. Let's do render. Theme. Here we go. Theme implemented. Theme render. So somewhere in here it's going to call theme render. And if we look at theme render, let's step into it. Active theme. Let's just put a breakpoint here. And I'm going to debug this test to walk through because it's been a long time since I've ever stepped through this part of the render process. So elements, All right, let's hit play. Active theme. And the active theme is just core because we didn't set one. This is something special that Drupal core has for just using the themes as is. Let's hit stop. So this get active theme. If not is set, this init. Determine the active theme, which means we need to set this default configuration. So we'll do this config system theme set default to Bartik and save. So let's do debug again, and that should make sure our default theme is set. Play, step through. This active theme is already set to core. So let's stop. Something else is causing that to be set. I might have to manually override it before the test starts. So let's rerun it. There's one. This would be faster if I did set up a Drupal 10 site and try to put Bartik into it and just started working on it. But I really want to do test-driven development because that's going to be a lot faster for getting some of these core components to work. Because I'm either going to manually test it and prove it works and then have to write the test, or wait or get it working and then not be able to prove that it works with my tests. So where is this main content subscriber? So yeah, this is on line 48. Step into route matches null. Route match, request stack, request, several of them. Just slash, that's weird, there's only one. Test page, and test page. To none, determine active theme. Let's go to the negotiator. Default negotiator is Ajax base. Batch. DB. Default. So step in. What's the default do? Back up. And get. So this data default is Bartik. Let's get through the overrides. So theme is Bartik. Theme's not. Oh, check access. Themes. Okay. Because it's not an accessible theme because it's not installed. So let's save this container. Hold on, this install theme. What is this from? This get theme path. Extension test trait. No. How do we install themes? Test Drupal. Test core theme. Register test. Theme test profile testing. Oh, we got literally called the theme installer. Okay. Let's do theme installer equals this container. Like I said, themes are handled a little bit more special. So assert theme installer instance of theme installer interface theme install. Should have finished reading this. So theme handler, and installed it. All right, so let's try that to see if that gets us to have our theme. We have our extension. Undefined variable theme list. That's what? For each key. Oh, that's an interesting break. Listing scan. Extensions theme. Theme installer. Want to save it. But it's saying it's not present. Wait. If empty extension theme for each array keys. Theme list. Theme list is not. So I'm always afraid of when doing things a little hackily. It was a lot easier to mod modules in testing. All right, theme list is not set. For each extension, array keys, Bartik as theme. If is set, theme list scan. Okay, so that's why, because it's not in the theme list. Listing, scan, and great. This is where everything is always broken. Is there's this direct extension discovery created. If we could get this to be removed, it could be testable, but now this isn't. So crap. All right. Well, let's find a hacky way to install it. One thing we can do is default plugin manager. What's doing this here? Event dispatcher, install, config, save. Default plugin manager has config schema, install storage list all. So let's hit stop. Is this something that can't be avoided? Why is this? Okay, so that's just going for the schema on save. Let's extension list. No, that's not what I want. I want this test. Integration test, kernel test. Let's do strict config schema. Set that to false and see if that fixes this. Let's see if that fixes the issue. I feel like Drupal core shouldn't throw an error there, but also it's kind of expected because we're doing something goofy. We'll see. So theme list is still empty. Because it's on install default config. All right, so we're going to not call the theme installer. So I'm gonna hit stop because this isn't gonna work. We can't do the theme installer. So installed themes, installed dependencies. It doesn't have any dependencies. Extension config. So let's go ahead and this config core extension. Key, it's just Bartik. I can replace the quotes. So we save the theme extension. Theme handler reset. I think we'll be okay without doing that. We don't want it. What's breaking was installing the default config. So I think we'll be okay now. Because we're not using the default installer. We're just making sure it's enabled. So by enabling it this way instead of default, we should process. But again, this is being called. Config save. Theme list. And we get the exception. Undefined variable theme list. It's not empty exceptions theme. Scans it. Theme list. It gets the folders. Why is it doing this? Okay, so maybe I won't be able to test this at all with the installed theme because I can't mock it at all. What's calling this? Get all folders. Exist, get file path, all. Because if I test this, I can't do it. And I really don't want to be stuck trying to improve how Drupal core lists everything. Config schema discovery, the schema storage list all, get definitions, find definitions. Fig save. If not, oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's do true. Okay. So if it's not trusted data, it loads the configuration schema, which is sending us down that rabbit hole. So I think if I put it to true, then this will be bypassed. And we should be okay to some point. Okay, so init theme, play, we got for themes, Bartik, theme axis. All right, so now we've got it as the active theme. You can skip some of these breakpoints. We skip over this active theme, Bartik. Skip over here. Skip that. And we should see output, the printed output. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and try to get the CSS and JavaScript attached to the page. So normally, let's do test. Oops. Let's see. What do we want to call this test? So actually, let's go to themes, Olivero. Let's do the libraries. So test dynamic libraries. And let's go back to the theme. So we're going to dynamically try to attach the equivalent of this libraries key. So go Drupal core theme and search for libraries. So theme initialization literally just has, oops, that was the wrong thing. Libraries override, active theme, libraries extend, libraries. Turn this. Let's look for where get libraries is used. All right, that's an old Scratch file. System page attachments. Okay, great. So that's how that works. Is in system page attachments. I'm going to make a note now. Made this issue, but I want to link it to. So in system page attachments, I'll put the notes in the issue in case I don't actually get started or get far enough. So in system page attachments, it gets the active theme and attaches the libraries. Which we could see active theme. It's the regions, library overrides, get extension, gets the extension object. It's going to lose the you need to figure out where to hook in and be able to read its info.yaml file. So you look at the extension, get type, get path name, get extension path name, load, if file name, which is null, delegated call, file info. Let's do the theme extension list. Where is it? Parser. So create extension info is one, but again, we're going to have this we shouldn't have issues with. So theme extension list. Info dependencies. And we're already extending it in our test, but we might need it to be in Retrofit itself. Let's just go and Let's do so extension list, module handler, alter system info. So it does the do scan extensions, creates the extension info, the extension and the type. The problem is that retrofit is not a module, so it won't be invoked by module alter. Just go ahead and put a breakpoint. We're going to say this type theme. Let's drop a breakpoint. Oops. Doesn't help I change the theme test, the test name. Let's debug it. That breakpoint there. And see if we can get retrofit to get invoked for hooks. So extensions. Extension is one, so step in. This alter, which we have our test, just calling the inner. So this alter. Let's get back to debugger. So cache ID system info. It's not set. How does it do the get implementation info again? Build implementation info. Look info. We're not in here. So this module list. So yeah, that's right. The module list goes to this extension. Otherwise, it checks for each module list. It tries to hook in for it. And we'd have to override each extension list in order to hook into this ourselves, unless we also decorate the module handler again. So we could decorate the module handler. Always allow us to alter the system info to modify the extension information. But the other problem is building library definitions. So let's just skip that part. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go to the whole library definition building. Actually, no, we would need that because we would need to add in the libraries for the theme. So maybe this is a poor approach because somebody's gonna just do that by themselves. So maybe this isn't the best one to go after. So I'm going to skip this part because if somebody needs to go create the libraries.yaml to organize their CSS and JavaScript, that's fine. So let's change focus to maybe getting the template.php file to be loaded. So type. So, but then again, that goes to this extension list. So create extension info. The extension, it gets the info from the parser here. I guess I can do it all inside. Create extension info, parent. So extension, file name. Create extension info. So if we do new extension, it's inside extension discovery that it creates the extension with the file name. File name is found with the name.type. If it doesn't exist, extension arguments, it sets it to the cache. That's one concern. So if empty or not is array, extension arguments, and it reuses it as part of scan directory. And do scan extensions, then it's inside do list. Then it does create extension info. So if we could get into system info alter, we could fix themes. We could, I guess, no matter what, to fix this libraries part or for the template.php fix, we do need to get into this create extension info. I think we have to override. Although that's going to modify the extension in place also, so I don't like it. I like this entire alter. The data.info, but also it would modify this extension. I think this is just going to have to be the case. How do we... There's something similar in registry where we do this check, like if the file name exists, like .tpl.php. So we could do info equals, what we could do is, but not every theme has a template.php either. Let's start with if extension get file name. That's not what I want. Get extension file name. There we go. Extension file name equal to null. Return info. So right now I'm just doing this in the test extension, then I'll move it to a proper, we're going to actually have to decorate it over here. It just stinks because we got to do all these protected method overrides instead of actual decoration. So just make it easier to maintain. And that's because we can't implement, because Drupal doesn't implement an extension here, it implements a hook, which I'm starting to think it might be best just to force our way in instead of doing this override. Here we have the extension where the file name's null, and we can do, let's see what we have, SPL info, the array. Let's do where say info name is equal to Arctic. All right. No, that didn't stop. Oh, this is on the alter. Ah, darn it. Okay. All right, here we go. This is where I wanted it. So type core. Oh, so it did preserve the style sheets and the settings. Okay. Inside the info file. It's good. So extension. What we could do is path equals extension get path, which is the direct name on the path name. So we could say legacy extension file equals template. And we say if file exists, legacy extension file extension. Then we have to recreate the extension, and that's not going to work because it's right. This is a protected file, so that won't work. Because if this, load this file name, we can't rewrite it. Which means we do have to hack into the discovery inside this do scan extensions. So I'm going to hit stop. Scan. The scan directory. New extension. This is going to constantly just be broken because of this file cache. So I think what will have to happen is people will just be forced to rename template.php because there's just no easy way to replace this. So I'm going to at least document that. Requires replacing logic and scan. Probably not be done and need documentation to rename template.php to theme.theme. So let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and just rename this to Bartik.theme. And file name will be, how does that load go? Load this file name, this get path file names. So yeah, just be Bartik.theme. Run the debugger. Just make sure. Well, that says file names. No, so let's go to Olivero. File name, yep. Okay. So we can skip that breakpoint. Skip that one. All right, so it started to add the pre-process. So let's go ahead and in the README, add a note. So usage. Let's make for modules. We'll say themes. Theme support is themes are you modify your Drupal 7 theme themes.info file into a info YAML format. So what do we have to do for? You must also rename template.php to name.theme, the new extension file format. So at theme style sheets to a YAML array, convert let's go I copied over Bartik, but that doesn't have any JavaScript. I believe 7 does. It doesn't. Okay. YAML array. I wonder if it should just be create a library. Just go. So add that as a format there. You must create an asset library for your previously declared style sheets and convert and add a libraries definition to attach those to the page. I'm gonna link to this issue. In the future, this may be automated with, was that issue number 26? All right, that's at least going to be in the README. So this is not possible to do. So, all right, so I'm going to delete this code. And what's running next is I'm going to rerun the test. We're going to see that preprocessed HTML is passing, but this is dying. So let's go start porting some functions. We're going to look for function, path the theme, and provide the replacement inside theme.inc. Function, path the theme. All right, so something tells me this is Drupal change records, path the theme. I bet that's in the theme handler. Lib Drupal core theme manager, get active theme. I should search the change records, because hopefully that's what's been reported. Well, themes got replaced by an active theme. So what did it say? That's the replacement. In terms of string. All right, so that's one thing fixed. And then Drupal add CSS is again one of these fun ones to figure out, since it's not we don't conditionally allow JavaScript anymore, or asset files, but I want to put in the right areas. Common, because I do have a ticket from improve this, like this Drupal add.js. So let's see if there is some way we could add it back, but it'll probably be really difficult, but at least this way it's not crashing. For the JavaScript, it was at least possible, so we can add the attachments. Actually, what did we do? We ended up, oh, I did add support for this. Because in responsive subscriber, we strip out, we add the attachments, but then something strips out all the CSS and JavaScript, so that way there's one place to try to fix it. All right, so data, if is set data, options is line. So it's about the same. So let's copy. Same logic. Add JS. And the same types from here to here. And we'll copy the same logic. Wait, so options. So if set options, if not is array type. So this is the same. Is set options. If is string. Okay, so yeah, same logic here. If the data is null, we short circuit. Then we do a switch. It's type. Default is type file. So this is the same. So there's no setting. So really this is a if statement. And we're going to change this to be CSS. Because inside our event subscriber, no, it's not there. Render. Inside our processor, we remove the CSS and JavaScript, so that way maybe eventually we can dynamically add back that support for attaching them. So now if I run the test, it shouldn't crash, but we won't have else under a define key data 267. Oh, there is no options data. It is just, so it's CSS. So if it's inline, just options, this makes no sense to me. Reading this half the time, I don't understand how this was supposed to be working. Oh, because if you're adding it in line, there's the data there. I don't know. This is where we get fixed as people start to use this. So this is data and then the options. So if we press play, now it should work. All right, print to the output. So let's see. Pre-process. That's right, process was removed. Let's look at process. That's probably going to pull back a lot of stuff. So this didn't run because it used to be pre-process and then process, which is like a post-process. So we're going to have to get back quite a bit. Oh, geez. Let's just look at 8.x. Let's go to last. Work our way back. Edit form process autocomplete. Wonder if I search pre-process, that'd be better. So let's look for no, not options. Pre-process. All callables, no. I wish that this was a better search than just 8.x or 8.0.x because yeah, so here's that change for asset libraries exclusively. Add assets and theme pre-process functions. So let's just try 8.0.x instead. Process attached has been removed. I don't think that's it either. So page attachments. Let's do Drupal hook process. Move. It's been a long time. I remember getting removed. Process layer. Here we go. Render wrapper class added to postpone rendering. Yeah, that's not. Ah, here's the change record. So, yeah, hook process had been removed. Process functions were used to flatten variables into strings for printing. From Drupal 7, for an example, with the shift toward renders arrays. So what we need to do is somehow get these hooked in again. So variables block. That'll probably break. All right, because this should have been running and this should have crashed on module exists. So process HTML. How are we going to get that to be hooked in? What we can do is we have template render. Where did so we have the registry. We go to process extension, process functions, module. Pre-process functions. So this is just for the module itself. We'd have to go to the theme registry. No, this is the theme registry. Core registry. And init for the theme. That loads the active theme. Process extension. Post-process extension. Rich group functions. Okay, so here's where it goes through and gets all the modules and all the themes. Get prefix grouped user functions. If prefixes. So this tries to pare down what is found by a set of prefixes. Okay, so it groups by the module. Group only functions in the prefix group. And this finds so it sets the cache with all the pre-process functions. So what somebody could do is rename all their process to pre-process. Ideally, we'd implement that here for them. So post-process extension. The theme contains a variable pre-process, but it's not implemented template. Missing. Suggestion level. Okay. Shoot. This stinks because it what's this that's committed? I don't see it on the 1 sec. All right. You gotta see pre-process, if type theme engine. So prefix phase. So phase, where's the different phase? This variable process phases. That okay, so up here, pre-process functions, process functions. I want to add it into here. So let's look at the module handler. So it's in build. We're in process extension. So maybe what could be done is we want to run inside the alter. We want to help populate the cache for it. This data cache. This theme name. Discovering all pre-processed functions for theme hook suggestions. So it's got to be this post-process extension. Hooks provided by the theme itself. Discover and add all pre-processed functions for theme hook suggestions. Yeah, so post-process. So in post-process extension, we'll call the parent first. And modules could do it too, so that's not great. Shoot. Yeah, so post-process prefixes, we do the same. We'd have to do the same thing over. Oh, I guess that is what it was doing before, is it looped over each. Just stinks that we're doing the exact same thing. So if type is module, we're not doing template process. I guess that could be a thing. Move template process. Yep, that is a thing. So add all hook process hook as pre-process functions. So we're going to have to copy this code again. Get prefixed. Yep. I don't like this, but it is what it is. Missing variable preprocessor. Did they have it at that suggestion layer even? Face hook. So let's just do so. Right, so for each prefix is prefix. I need to get a breakpoint in here just to start reading it. So prefixes, SQLite, all that. So for each prefix is prefix. First prefix, group functions. Grab only the functions which are in the first prefix group. I don't understand this, so I should probably just do a breakpoint. I should probably just do a breakpoint to step through to make sure I even understand how the original one works. Because I am confused. And then I actually don't even remember how Drupal discovers that template overrides exist. So that's going to be a blast. All right, so first prefix. What? Explode underscore limit 2. I don't even understand. What this is trying to do. Like if you have a module with an underscore in it. I don't know. Yeah, so group functions, SQLite help, system, suggestion level. So level is substring count matches 0. So everything at the end of that, if is set cache matches 1. So let's go ahead and missing variable preprocessors. The theme contains a variable preprocess function but does not implement a template. It will go missing. I still don't understand this. What this even means or how it happens. But this, yeah. So suggestion level, it sorts them and then adds them in. But this actual patch just says prefixes, merge, type. So there's all the prefixes. So each prefix phase, info, phase, key, adds. So I'm going to try to just keep it simple. Non-hook specific variable processors for theming hooks. Just keep it simple there. So prefixes, group functions. Just we have the prefixes there. Say for each prefixes as prefix. If is set prefix phase hook. Is set info template and function exists. There's phase key. So we'll say if function exists and phase process, because everything is a template now. So we'll just say that. So cache hook equals prefix process, cache hook. Oh, wait, where's the hook come from? Item for each item. Cache hook. So we have to go through each hook. Okay, so each cache as hook, right? Each cache as hook info Info is not going to be used. So if function exists, I'm just going to copy this and clean it up. I'm going to close the parent. So phase we know is process. And this is also it. So I'm going to put a breakpoint and we're going to see where this goes. So it's very simplistic. Obviously, they've improved it in Drupal 10 or Drupal 8 Plus, where it's more robust than just doing a function exists. But we'll see where this goes now. All right. So let's hit play. We don't want this breakpoint. We want to get to the next one. So for each cache as hook, and Bartik theme has process HTML. Excuse me. Engine Bartik. Bartik process HTML. So now cache hook HTML pre-process functions. Wait a second. Process HTML. There we go. Yep, that's what we want. So now it should crash. That module exists, does not exist, which is what we needed. So I'm going to clear out some of my files. Let's search for module exists. I have a feeling that's going to be in module.inc. That's, if I remember, that's a class or thing. That thing. Function. No. File. Brain. All right. Module exists. So let's create a new module.php. So string module returns a bool, and it's return Drupal module handler exists module. So run our test. I have to go to the functions file. I wonder if I should just move these all to the autoloader instead of this one functions file that requires them. All right, we got an error that happened, which is usually the case whenever that shows up. Joy. Let's get to tests, integration, theme integration test. I don't know why it's crashing. Run, cannot file. Did you? Let's just turn off the var export and see if that happens to work. I don't think that'll be the case. Something else is causing it to crash. Shoot. We can do, I guess, is put a breakpoint here inside process page and see if that's what's causing it. play. Skip over this breakpoint. I'm guessing it's due to filter XSS admin not being present. So let's port this one over. Oh, this is, and then variable get site name is not state. So that's one that needs to be updated as well. So first things first. Function filter XSS admin comment inc. Common. I can't remember. Drupal provided it somewhere. Drupal core component. No idea. Oh, here it is. Okay. Return. And who would have thought it'd be there? Filter admin string. I sure didn't. Oh, just simplify. All right, so now that's a function that exists. In variable get, we need to stub in site name and site slogan. So that I have in variable. Do now a convert this to a match name. Default is return. There we go. Where did theme go? So site name is actually Drupal config system site get name. I think it's something like that. Not a semicolon. I'm just going to go. We'll check this usage. Okay, so it is name. It's going to be select max. Let's do get. Name. There's going to be, what's it? The branding. System branding block. Use site logo. Where's this build? Site config slogan. Here we go. Slogan. Site slogan. Except that doesn't really do a good fallback for the default. So I guess we should do a nullable. I suppose. Yeah, yep, that would be the best way to do it. So if we hit play, now it shouldn't crash. All right, or at least somewhat closer. Color module doesn't exist, or that's something that has to be fixed later on. Variable block region. This is probably a breaking point. This assertion is why is this isn't crashing? Let's just do so this is not test. This is functions run. So we test that the process functions run. Let's do var export this get raw content. That this is adding to the page. Probably not. Just the site's slow again, and I don't think the template's even running. So let's see. Let's see if I can get find this should be in the page, maybe. This page, domain content, this page, the core template, because this isn't being picked up yet. Region, page title, and output from page wrapper. So if I were to look at, well, do page.html.php in system. Yep, classes array is not being used because it's not read. That's in this page.tpl.php. It's not even going to show up with anything Bartik. What's something I could have this do? To at least prove that it's working, but I'm not seeing anything that could be easily modified. Did I copy this over? Oh no, that still exists. Okay. Well, I guess we're just going to assert the fact that it didn't crash. And that'll be the start. Where's the page content? Just do self assert string contains string. This get content, get text content. Test page does not crash with theme. That's good enough for me. If we can just say it doesn't crash with the theme available and the process functions are running, figure out the next steps later. I'm going to review the diff really quick, get ready to sign off. So this adds the add CSS support. The ads module exists. Path to theme. Hence this variable get. Fun thing for the registry to support process functions. All the tests. I'm going to skip over. And then the README, some information on that. So, all right, I'm going to add baseline fourth add base theme support. Do commit and push. Let's do GitHub PR create. And this fix 31, because we're just going to document it. Fixes number 31 via documentation. I'm not sure if I want to merge it is or spin some of it out. I think I might spin out some of the fixes just to make it more concise. Because this is going to fail on a bunch of like PHP CS and PHP Stan, I'm sure. And I'm still not sure if I'm happy with the approach. This will load. Come on. Collapse. So I can review. All right. Well, that's legged up. So I'm just going to let this wait. The initial theme support. So this has unblocked some gaps that are needed. I guess the good part is even if themes don't exactly work, modules have process functions, so these were added. So I think that's what I want to focus on is implementing the process, but having it run against a module that implements some kind of process hook. Wait. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna close that. I started checking this out with side PHP Storm. I didn't realize you could do reviews inside PHP Storm. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in here. I'm going to say, but I don't think you can do a multi-line comment or review. That's the annoying part. And I want it to be a multi-line review. I'm not just going to add a comment, start a review with a comment. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this to open. Otherwise, I'm just going to put my notes in here. So I viewed the README. That's fine. I want to get to theme registry. All right, that's locking up. So I'll do this. I'm just going to do this here. Start a new review with a comment. Split out to its own PR. So I want to split that out to its own pull request. Split out to its own PR and test. I want to test that this is working just like the JavaScript does. And I figure out why Ko-Fi is streaming my or spamming my chat. Must have integrated it and didn't realize it was going to send that notification over and over. Split out to its own PR. For module exists. Theme. Split to its own PR. So I want to move a bunch of this out. Definitely split variable get for common config items now config to its own PR. Registry move to its own PR. Test with a module which has implemented process to modify output. See if examples module has something. So a lot of this was built off the examples module, and that should be something in the examples module to go against. And yeah, so I'm going to submit my review notes to unload this PR. If I click that, and it's neat if I come over. All right, well, this page is just completely up. But now if I request, everything's in here. And it is neat when you start doing it inside PHP Storm, it's posting it via the API and does start to bubble up and show up. All right, so I'm going to split this out next time. I won't be streaming next week because I'm taking some vacation time, but I'll be back in, I think that makes it August. I don't know, something close to that. So thanks for hanging out and have a good one.